Welcome guys. So today we will discuss about device driver. In last two presentation we have discussed what exactly the Linux kernel is, what is the architecture of Linux kernel, what are the different subsystems in the Linux kernel. So today we will start learning device driver and we will understand what is the device driver and what is the role of device driver in our operating system. So today's agenda will be what is device driver, and then we will discuss what is the role of driver in operating system, and then we will discuss what are different type of device drivers, and then we will discuss what is the need of device drivers. So device driver is the piece of code, or we can say software, which actually manage our hardware devices connected to our system. So device driver is a program which actually has all understanding of hardware. So device driver has the full access to access the hardware, or we can say device driver has the full authorization to access the hardware. So device driver behaves like a black box to the user space, which actually hides the complexity of hardware from the user space. From this diagram you can understand better. You can see device driver is the interface between application and the hardware. So application send their request to device driver and device driver actually communicate with the hardware. So application, as you know, users runs in user space, so they might need hardware for doing some work. So to access the hardware, they generally send request to device driver by using of syscalls or some other method. So device driver actually first validate the request from user space. They actually check whether this application has right to access this hardware or not. If they have right to access this hardware, so they will grant the access. Otherwise they will just reply back to the application like you don't have access to access this hardware. So all requests will come to device driver and device driver will communicate with hardware, and then it will reply back to application. So in this diagram we will discuss the role of device driver in operating system. So this whole diagram is part of our kernel space, and on the below layer you can see we have multiple hardware devices connected to our system. So all applications runs above this interface. So these applications use system call interface to send the request down to kernel. So as we have already discussed in the last presentation what exactly the system call interface is. So system call interface is the interface which actually get request from the user space and pass that request to the particular driver, and then driver communicate with the hardware, and this way this communication from applications to the hardware happens. So you can say like after system call interface we have different subsystem in the kernel. So you can see here we have process management subsystem, memory management, file systems, device control, networking. So these all are the kernel subsystems. So after that you can say this layer contains all the drivers which actually manage all the devices connected to our system. So here you can see this is our architecture dependent code which actually manage our CPU cores. This is the memory manager code which actually manage our physical memory connected to our system. This is the file system drivers which actually manage different file system connected to our system. You can see like these are the devices, disk and CDs. Here you can see like character driver which actually manage all the character devices connected to our system. So example of character devices, consoles, etc. So this is the network drivers which actually manage network interface of our system. So you can understand in brief like device driver is the code which actually lies in the lower layer of Linux kernel, which actually has the role of managing the hardware. So now we need to understand like what is actually the need of device driver. Actually the need of device driver is we need to hide the complexity of our hardware from the user space application. It's not a good job for an user space programmer or for an user to understand the complexity of hardware, and it's a very typical job. So to avoid this, we can say our driver provide an abstract interface to the user, so user no need to worry about complexity of hardware. They just send request to the device driver and device driver pass that request to our hardware. So now the thing is, when we need to write the device driver, and what will be the chances of writing device driver? So the thing is, whenever there is new devices in the market and till now there is no there is no device driver for that hardware, so in that case we need to write device driver for that particular hardware. Or there might be chances like you have to enhance some feature of some hardware, or you have to add some other functionality in the existing device. So in that case you have to write the device driver code for that particular feature. So now is the time to understand different types of devices. So devices are mainly categorized into three types. First type is character device. So character devices are the devices which actually transfer data character by character. So example of these kinds of devices are serial port, camera sensors and parallel ports, etc. And the second type is block devices. Block devices are the devices which actually transfer data in form of bulk. They actually perform bulk data transfer. Examples are CD-ROM, hard disk, USB devices, etc. And the third type is network devices. Network devices are the devices which actually maintain our network requirements, or we can say our network interfaces, or we can say our network packets. So example of these kinds of devices are NICs and Ethernet cards, etc. So depending upon these devices, we divide our device driver into three types. First type is character driver, which actually manages the character devices. Second type is block driver, which actually manages block devices. Third type is network driver, which actually manages our network devices. So we have understood like what exactly the device driver is, what is the role of device drivers, and what are the different types of device driver exist. So that was all from this presentations. If you have any queries, you can post your queries on our website www.tutorialsdaddy.com. If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel for more videos. You can connect with us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/tutorialsdaddy. You can always visit our website for more tutorials and for more updates, www.tutorials.com. Thanks for watching our videos. Thank you.